Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Nancy Badillo from nancybadillo.com, and on today's tutorial I'm going to go over 5 tips that can, one, increase your Etsy sales, and two, can also make your time more efficient when creating new additional listings. Some of the stuff I already knew, some of the stuff I learned at the end of my Etsy business after like a year later that I wish I would have known in the beginning. So these are some tips that hopefully, even if you just take one of these tips, might help you increase your sales and have more time efficiency when it comes to adding additional listings. So let's go ahead and get started. So my first tip is hide your sold listings. So I don't know if you know this, but if you were to click here on my sales, you are going to be able to view all the items that I have sold on my shop. One of the reasons why you might want to hide your Etsy listings that you have sold is that other people that want to copy your store or copy your strategy, that way they don't see what are your popular items. So in order to hide this, all you have to do is you would just go to your shop manager, and then you will go to settings, and from there you will go to, I'm sorry about that, settings, and then you will go to options, and it's going to give you the option right here to hide the items. So therefore, when you save this and you go back to your shop, if anyone was to click on sales, they won't have access to view your sales. And it's just in my opinion, I always have it off, just for the mere fact that I don't want other stores, and there are people out there that will copy your work or try to see what are your top contenders. So you don't want them to see that. So that's the main reason why I turn mine off. If you don't mind people viewing your sold items, you could leave it open. It's not the end of the world. For me, I personally like turning it off. So that's tip number one. That way, no one or no competitor copies your top sellers. Tip number two. Now, this kind of goes the opposite. If you are researching other stores and you want to see what are their top items, then I would recommend that the stores that you can click on sales, because a lot of the stores actually have it off as well. You'll start noticing that unless they're a new store and they don't know about it. A lot of the bigger stores are the ones that sell a lot of items, they have it off. So if you do see a store that you particularly want to see what are their high items, and they have it on, I highly recommend clicking on it. And then you'll be able to go ahead and look at their listings and kind of go through them and kind of see which one that are the most popular, what are they selling the most. I'm not saying to go and copy their work, but you can use it for inspiration. So you could kind of see what they're doing, what's working for them, create the item, make it better, bigger, nicer, whatever it is, but just make sure that you put your own design to it and you're not copying exactly what they're doing. So that's that's number two. Tip number two. It's just a way that you could spy on your competitors. It's a little bit hard because a lot of people do turn it off, but you will find some some stores actually leave it on. So if you want to look at those stores and kind of see why they're best sellers, it's just a way to kind of see what they're selling. So tip number three is don't use a bit.ly when you're recommending matching items or you want them to click on something else. So this is a regular link. So you'll see it starts with https www.etsy.com and so on. So a bit.ly, if you don't know what it is basically you go here, bit.ly.com, and you could take a long URL and you could shorten that URL. So basically you could come here, put create, you put that long URL, and it's going to give you a shorter one. Now, it does look nicer to put this URL versus the one that I currently have because this is so long. The downside of using Bitly on Etsy is that when you are on a computer, the potential buyer could click here and it will take them to the landing page. However, if they click on a Bitly from a cell phone, it does not work. I had all my listings using a Bitly. So I would tell the customer, click here to view matching items, or click here to purchase this custom item, or to pay extra for rush, or whatever it was. And I would get a lot of people saying, I can't click on it. And I'm like, it works fine. Yeah, it worked fine because I was using it from my computer. So one day I was like, I wonder if because a lot of people buy from their cell phones. So I logged in through my Etsy app. I clicked on it and it does not work. So if you are using Bitly, because I do see a lot of stores that are currently using it, I would just remove it. Even though it's nicer, it looks prettier. It makes that long URL a lot shorter, and it doesn't look as spammy. I would just remove it because it does not work on mobile. And 99% of the time, the customer is on a mobile device buying. So, in order to get that click through ratio higher and have them click more, I would just put the regular URL. Don't use Bitly, and don't use Google URL to shorten it as well. So, that's tip number 3 that I learned the hard way. I'm sure I lost a lot of sales because of that. So, tip number 4, if you make multiple items of the same, let's say you want to use the same keywords, instead of you creating a listing and then saving that one and publishing it and then creating a new one, and you're using the same keywords, you actually could do duplicate listings. And this is a strategy that you could use for keywords. You could do, let's say you're going to do this game, Drop Your Panties Here, and you're going to do multiple listings but of different colors. You're going to have this one in blue, you're going to have one with white background, you're going to have another one with gray background. Instead of doing this all over again every single time and spending an additional 15 to 20 minutes adding the keywords, creating the listing description, adding the keywords on the bottom, what you could do is, if you go to edit and if you click on manage and you click on copy, make sure it says copy here before you publish. If you don't see the copy here and you publish, you would delete this listing and replace it with a new one. So just keep that in mind. So after you press copy, you will see the copy here. Now you could go ahead and delete these pictures and upload the new mockups. And this will save you so much time. I didn't know this. So in the beginning, I was taking so long creating listings because I was doing them all from scratch. And I do this for when I'm copying the same keywords, and I also do this even when I'm changing the keywords, because a lot of the times the verbatim and the listing description is the same. I'm just changing the keywords in the title and on the tags. So once you change the pictures here, change the SKU number, and add the actual file, then you just press publish and it will duplicate a new listing for you, but half of the time. So it's just something that I wish I would have known in the beginning, because I probably would have grew my store a lot quicker. So it's just a something you learn as you go, but just use that tip because it saves you so much time. So that was my tip number 4. And then my last tip is one that a lot of people do when choosing keywords. So a lot of people, this is what they do. When they say, oh, I did SEO research, they go here and they put wedding signs. And then they start looking at the keywords that generate from Etsy. And these are, keywords that people are typing in, looking for that particular item. So yeah, somebody probably, or a lot of people are typing in wedding signs in wood. However, just because it's showing up here doesn't necessarily mean it's a good keyword to use. This is what you got to look for. If you're not going to do SEO correctly, and when I mean correctly, I mean sitting down, doing the research using xcrank.com, which is a free tool that you could use. If you're not going to use that and you want to use the XC search engine, this is the search engine here. You want to use this method of finding keywords, then you want to look at two things. It's fine if you look at the keywords that come out here when you do a search, and it kind of gives you like these are the keywords that people are looking for, and if that matches your listing, whatever you're selling, then this is fine. However, when you search for that particular keyword, if you see 83,167 results, that means that too many people are using that keyword. So therefore, you should not use that keyword. It's too competitive. So when you do use that keyword, you're not going to be found in the first page of Google of Xe search engine. You're going to be probably at the bottom. You see how many people are using it? I mean, there's over 250 pages using the same keyword, and each page have about 25 signs. So you're going to be in the very low spectrum. And in order to even be found using that particular keyword, one, you will need to spend money. So that way you could get advertised on the top of the search engine. And even then, you're not going to be advertised all the time because there's so many people competing for that keyword that use advertising. So they rotate who's going to be on the top. So you're not always going to be showing up for that particular keyword. So this is so important that you pay attention to this number. I highly recommend using a number anywhere from 5,000 and less. I stay on the sweet spot of zero, well, not zero, but low competition to like 3,000, the keyword. So if that keyword is that high, then your next thing is to really look for additional keywords that you be able to rank for. So I'm just typing elegant wedding signs. So this one's a better one. If you look at the results are 6,000. You're competing with 6,000 versus 83,000. That's crazy because you're never going to be found, especially if you're not spending money in advertising. If you're just doing organic only, which organic means that someone typed in the keyword and they found your sign, versus advertising means that even if that keyword is very competitive, because you're paying for advertising, they will pull you to the top, like these up here that says ad. So if you are using this one, then you have a better result of being found in the search in that keyword, because it's not that many other signs. And then if you do a couple of the same signs but different colors and different variations, that actually increases your risk as well of being found as well for that keyword. So for instance, this is one of my signs here, and it's on the first page of Xe search, as you see. So it is a one that you can compete with. I have another one here. So I actually have, if you were to look at, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 signs on the first page. So it does work if you use the right keywords, but if you use a keyword that's too competitive and you're not looking at how much results, you're just looking at, oh, I typed it up here and people are looking for that, so I'm going to use that one as a keyword. Do not do that. That's the biggest mistake you can make, because if you're just choosing keywords just out of anywhere, whether you're making them up or you're typing them here and just grabbing them without really doing the research and understanding it, you're going to be in the same predicament that you're not going to get traffic or sales. So this was a quick tutorial, just 5 things that you could start doing and implementing that hopefully will help you increase your sales, become a little bit more efficient, things that sometimes we overlooked, or we haven't noticed. Like I overlooked the whole copying the listing. I didn't know that that option was even there until like a couple months ago, and I was like, oh my god, this could have saved me a lot of time. So if any of these tips helped you today, make sure you leave a comment below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I will be adding additional Etsy videos. I just had a newborn, so I've been a little bit busier, but I promise I'll be adding additional videos. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and thank you for listening. Have a wonderful night. Bye bye.